Welcome to the informative channel, and today we will discuss the topic: the rise of Islam in Saudi Arabia. The Arabian Peninsula, in the centuries before the rise of Islam, was a vast and often unforgiving land, dominated by deserts that stretched across horizons, with scattered oases serving as lifelines for the people who inhabited it. Tribal society was the fundamental unit of life, and tribal loyalties ran deep, shaping not only personal identity but also political alliances, economic networks, and the framework of justice. In this world, ancestry was paramount, and one's lineage was a source of both pride and protection. Yet, despite the importance of kinship, Arabia was far from politically unified. It was a mosaic of independent tribes and small settlements, each with its own customs, leaders, and gods. Mecca, a city nestled among rugged hills in the Hejaz region, held special significance even in those pre-Islamic times. It was the site of the Kaaba, a cube-shaped sanctuary that, according to tradition, housed numerous idols representing various deities worshipped by different tribes. The Kaaba served as a religious center where tribes would set aside their disputes during sacred months to make pilgrimage, and this neutrality brought a kind of temporary peace to the otherwise fractious land. Mecca's location along caravan routes linking Yemen in the south to the Levant in the north made it a hub of commerce as well as religion. Caravans laden with spices, incense, textiles, and other goods passed through, enriching the city's leading clans, most notably the Quraysh, who acted as custodians of the Kaaba and overseers of its economic life. Yet, alongside prosperity, there was also profound inequality. Wealth was concentrated in the hands of a few, while many struggled in poverty. Slavery was widespread, and social protections for the vulnerable were minimal. Women, for the most part, were treated as property, their rights severely restricted, though some tribes did grant women higher status than others. Religious life in Arabia was diverse. While polytheism was the dominant faith, there were also pockets of Jewish and Christian communities, particularly in Yemen and the northern oases. Some Arabs, known as Hanifs, rejected idol worship altogether and sought to follow a monotheistic faith reminiscent of Abrahamic traditions, though they did not strictly align with Judaism or Christianity. This mixture of beliefs created an environment in which spiritual curiosity coexisted with deeply entrenched traditional practices. Into this setting, around the year 570 CE, a year remembered by Arabs as the Year of the Elephant, because of an attempted attack on the Kaaba by a Yemeni army equipped with elephants, a boy named Muhammad was born into the Quraysh tribe, specifically the respected clan of Banu Hashim. His father, Abdullah, had died before his birth, and his mother, Amina, died when he was still a young child, leaving him an orphan. Raised first by his grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, and later by his uncle Abu Talib, Muhammad grew up experiencing both the challenges of life without wealth and the dignity of belonging to a noble lineage. As he matured, Muhammad earned a reputation for honesty and trustworthiness, earning him the nickname Al-Amin, the Trustworthy. He worked as a merchant, traveling with caravans and managing trade goods, which exposed him to the wider world beyond Mecca and gave him insight into different cultures and religions. In his mid-20s, Muhammad entered the service of a wealthy merchant widow named Khadija, overseeing her trade caravans with such skill and integrity that she proposed marriage. Their union was one of mutual respect and affection, and it provided Muhammad with financial stability and a supportive partner. Over the years, however, Muhammad became increasingly troubled by the moral decay he perceived in Meccan society, the greed, the treatment of the poor, the rampant idolatry. Seeking solace and clarity, he often retreated to a cave on Mount Hira, just outside Mecca, to meditate and reflect. It was during one of these retreats, in the year 610 CE, that Muhammad experienced a profound and life-altering event. In the stillness of the cave, he was confronted by the angel Gabriel, who commanded him to recite. Bewildered and afraid, Muhammad initially resisted, but the command was repeated, and words poured forth. Words that would become the opening verses of what Muslims believe to be the revealed word of God, the Quran. This moment marked the beginning of Muhammad's mission as the messenger of God, calling people to abandon idol worship and to submit to the will of the one true God, Allah. At first, Muhammad shared his message quietly, confiding only in close family and friends, Khadija, his cousin Ali, his friend Abu Bakr, and a few others. Over time, as the revelations continued, his preaching became more public, and he called upon the Quraysh and the wider community to embrace monotheism, social justice, and moral reform. The response was mixed. Some were moved by his message, but many among the Quraysh elite saw it as a threat to their power and to the economic benefits they derived from the Ka'ba's role in idol worship. Persecution of Muhammad's followers began in earnest, ranging from social ostracism to physical torture. One of the most notable cases was that of the family of Yazir and Sumayya, who endured brutal treatment, with Sumayya becoming the first martyr of Islam. The situation grew so dire that some Muslims sought refuge in the Christian kingdom of Abyssinia, where the ruler, the Negus, granted them protection after hearing of their beliefs. In Mecca, the hostility escalated until the Quraysh imposed a social and economic boycott on Muhammad's clan, forcing them into a harsh exile in a barren valley. The suffering during this period was intense, and it was made worse by the personal losses Muhammad suffered, including the deaths of Khadija and his uncle Abu Talib. These events, remembered as the Year of Sorrow, left Muhammad deeply grieved but also resolute. It was around this time that he experienced the miraculous night journey, in which he was transported to Jerusalem and then ascended to the heavens, encountering previous prophets and receiving instructions on prayer. Despite these spiritual affirmations, the situation in Mecca remained perilous. Muhammad began seeking alliances with tribes outside the city, and it was the people of Yathrib, later known as Medina, who offered him and his followers a safe haven. In 622 CE, Muhammad and the Muslims undertook the Hijra, or migration, to Medina, an event so significant that it marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar. In Medina, Muhammad assumed not only the role of spiritual leader but also of political statesman. He forged the Constitution of Medina, a document that established a multi-religious community in which Muslims, Jews, and other groups agreed to mutual protection and cooperation under his leadership. This unity was soon tested by ongoing conflict with the Quraysh.